The goals you're about to see are all a recreation of the results that actually happened in my Leicester City career mode, and no sliders were used in the making of these goals or the recording of the series itself. Trust me, there'll be a point in this video where you think I use sliders, but I promise you I never ever use them. Enjoy the video. So then, welcome to today's finale of Leicester City Career Mode Season 1. We are here looking at an incredible amount of stuff that can happen in today's final game of the series. As you can see, it's not just about Leicester City today. Chelsea and Manchester United go into the final day of the season, joint on points in the battle for the title. Leicester and Manchester City are also fighting it out for the top four, and Sunderland and Newcastle are fighting it out for the Europa League spots, as well as a basement battle between Bournemouth and Aston Villa to avoid relegation. But we start off, of course, there's only one place to start, and that is at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, who go into the final day of the season above Manchester United on goal difference, play Leicester City, who go into the final day of the season above Manchester City on goal difference in the battle for fourth. Over at Old Trafford, Manchester United are playing Bournemouth, who are also fighting to survive against Aston Villa going into this final day of the season. So even in the first two games, there is a massive amount to play for. Into the third game, as you can see, Arsenal are playing Aston Villa at the Emirates Stadium. Aston Villa, the underdogs going into this relegation battle. They are 2 points behind Bournemouth and need to win and hope that United beat Bournemouth in order to stay in the Premier League. Nevertheless, over at the Etihad, Manchester City are playing Swansea as they vie to beat Leicester City to the final top four space and book their place in the Champions League next season. It's a time-wear battle to book their places in the Europa League next season, as Newcastle and Sunderland are in a straight fight for 7th place, aka the final Europa League spot. It's not a usual rivalry, but perhaps one of the most important in recent history in terms of Newcastle versus Sunderland. Newcastle play Tottenham at St James's Park, while Sunderland are away against Watford at Vicarage Road. Watford, who have already had a fantastic season in their first since being promoted from the Championship, and they'll be looking to spoil Sunderland's party as they go into the game in that final Europa League spot. Nevertheless, we're going to get into the action then, seeing all of the before mentioned games to see just how these battles up and down the Premier League table are going to play out. Sunderland are preparing to kick off here at 3 o'clock on the final day of the season. All games are going to happen simultaneously. It's time to get underway as Sunderland there kick off against Watford here at Vicarage Road. It's been an extremely quiet first 20 minutes here in the Premier League. No goals whatsoever, but Jan Vertonghen stealing the ball there off a Newcastle midfielder, and he's played Harry Kane, the informed striker, in on goal. And there was only one eventuality. Harry Kane scores the first goal of the final day here in the Barclays Premier League, giving Tottenham a 1-0 lead here against Newcastle. And if it stays like it is, that all but ends Newcastle's hope of getting into Europe this season and hands that 7th place to Sunderland. Lovely little finish there by Harry Kane. Nothing Tim Krul can do. One-on-one, fantastic finish. Now, Leicester have had, it has to be said, the better of the early exchanges here in this game against Chelsea, which you would obviously not expect. Chelsea are fighting for the title. They've got a lot to play for. Maybe some nerves are starting to creep in. Jamie Vardy there with a chance. Sisto putting the ball into the box there for Kante. But Courtois easily claims. Chelsea, though, looking a little bit on the ropes early on here. Bastian Schweinsteiger there going up for an aerial challenge, and he's won it against Andrew Sermon. It's fallen out to Ander Herrera going round Simon Francis. He's going to put the ball into the box. Is he for Wayne Rooney? And he does. And Wayne Rooney scores there on the half-an-hour mark for Manchester United. They're now doing all they can do in terms of winning this title. A lovely little celebration there as well from Wayne Rooney. This is not good, however, for Bournemouth. Villa are still drawing against Arsenal. Therefore, as it stands, Bournemouth could actually potentially get relegated. We'll have to see how this unfolds. Vincent Kompany finds Fabian Delph there. Oh, lovely little turn there to get away from Leon Britton and find some space. He's got Sergio Aguero making a run here. Now, he's got a lot to do as Sergio Aguero, magic from the Argentinian. He finds the bottom corner. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter how much work he has to do. Sergio Aguero will always find the back of the net. Lucas Fabianski with no chance here in the 32-minute mark. and now Manchester City are in the driving seat for 4th place. Leicester are still drawing with Chelsea, don't forget. As it stands, Manchester City will take that final Champions League spot, and Leicester will have to survive, or will have to just settle for 5th place and Europa League football. Of course, Swansea are already down along with West Brom, and Manchester City have potentially exploited that. They lead 1-0. United, having taken the lead, have now really got their tails up. Michael Carrick has found Wayne Rooney again in the area, and Wayne Rooney has found the back of the net again, and Bournemouth have been hit there with a double in just 4 minutes. Bournemouth have gone from drawing 0-0 to now losing 2-0, and now they are going to have to hope Arsenal do them a favour against Aston Villa. Otherwise, they could quite easily go down here. 2-0 again now for Manchester United, well on track. DeAndre Yedlin here running down the line. He's got some electric pace, has the American, but unfortunately for him, the cross into the box doesn't actually find anyone. Britos can bring it away, but there's a poor pass out there, only as far as Seb Larsson, and in a flash, Sunderland have made Watford pay for that mistake, and now all of a sudden they are in a fantastic position to take this final Europa League spot. Tottenham are beating Newcastle, and now Sunderland are winning, which means Sunderland are, of course, in the driver's seat for this 7th spot. Fantastic finish. Now, Newcastle, they'll probably be hearing that Sunderland have just taken the lead against Watford, and they need a response. Lovely little 1-2 there, involving Wijnaldum. He's found Alexander Mitrovic, and that is a fantastic goal from Tottenham. It doesn't change what Newcastle need, and that is Sunderland to draw with Watford, but it is a fantastic goal nonetheless. Lovely little 1-2, I think, between Torvan and Wijnaldum, and it was Mitrovic who slots it away. Lovely finish. Hugo Lloris with no chance in the Tottenham goal. Tottenham not fighting for anything today. They've already secured 6, but a good goal from Newcastle nonetheless. Just take a look at that possession stat in the top left corner. Leicester City are really, well, they're really putting Chelsea under pressure. It has to be said. Chelsea have not had it all their own way in this game, and they'll know by now that United are beating Bournemouth, and they need a response, to be honest with you, because it doesn't look as if Bournemouth are going to get anything out of that United game. However, Bruno Perez has given the ball away here, and it would be a crying shame if Leicester conceded. Now they've dominated the first half, and they have conceded because Cesc Fabregas has stuck away that Chelsea move. It all started with Bruno Perez giving the ball away, and Chelsea are now back on track to take the title, and Leicester will slip now down to 5th. That punt upfield will fall at the feet of Nacho Monreal. It's been a pretty quiet game here at the Emirates, but Hector Bellerin finding Mesut Ozil. There, Aaron Ramsey now looking for a 1-2 perhaps between himself and Olivier Giroud. Fantastic move, and what a finish that is from the Welshman. Aaron Ramsey dispatched a fantastic move in fantastic fashion. Brad Guzan with absolutely no chance. Bournemouth have now been flung a lifeline because Aston Villa are losing 2, which means Aston Villa as it stands are down. Sunderland will be happy with their day's work so far. They're doing exactly what they need to do to take 7th place here by beating Watford. And they've got a chance to make it 2, and they have made it 2. Right on the edge of half-time. Stephen Fletcher makes it 2-0 here in added time in the first half. And that now really puts Sunderland in a fantastic position. Newcastle may well be drawing with Tottenham, but to mess this up from here, Sunderland have to let a 2-goal lead slip now against Watford, and Newcastle themselves have to find a winner against Tottenham. So they are in a fantastic position. Stephen Fletcher giving them that breathing space there right on the edge of half-time, and Watford would be pretty disappointed with how their final day of the season is going. They've got nothing to play for, but they have had a very good season. It would be a shame to sort of end on a bad note like this, and that marks half-time there. That goal, literally the final action of the half. Sunderland go in at the break 2-0 up there, and that potentially changes Watford's team talk. I'm not entirely sure. It's now half-time pretty much everywhere else across the country, including at Manchester United at Old Trafford. They too have a 2-0 lead against Bournemouth. As it stands, because Villa are losing, Bournemouth will be staying up. As it stands, United won't be taking the title either because Chelsea are winning against Leicester. It's also half-time, as you can see, at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal leading 1-0 against Aston Villa thanks to that fantastic Ramsey goal. And as you can see, it's also half-time now at Stamford Bridge, as I said earlier on. Chelsea are holding on to the title as it stands, and Leicester are also letting slip 4th place as it stands because Manchester City are beating Swansea at the Etihad. And the full list of half-time scores will be on the screen now for you. Chelsea lead 1-0 at the break against Leicester City. Manchester United are 2-0 up at Old Trafford against Bournemouth, who will be staying up as it stands. Arsenal lead 1-0 against Aston Villa, who are going down as it stands. Swansea are losing 1-0 at home against Manchester City, whilst Newcastle are drawing 1-1 with Tottenham, and Watford are losing 2-0 to Sunderland. So we kick off the second half here at Vicarage Road. Watford 2-0 down against Sunderland. Quique Flores, the Watford manager, will be hoping his team talk has had some sort of effect on the squad and they could potentially sneak a draw out of this. Here's Troy Deeney on the ball. He's got a little bit of support from behind him there, and in front of him actually as well, in the shape of Odion Igalo, who turns, finds the shot, and it's deflected there off John O'Shea. And Watford potentially have got a lifeline back into this game extremely early on in this first half. Exactly what Sunderland didn't need. I think it was going wide, actually. That might be accredited as an own goal for John O'Shea. Odion Igalo will claim it. As you can see, it was certainly going wide, but the deflection has very much beaten Costel Pantilimon in the Sunderland goal. Odion Igalo then giving Watford a lifeline back into this game, and potentially the battle for 7th is not over yet. Maybe Newcastle do have a chance here. Manchester City will be pretty happy with their first half here against Swansea, but of course they need to make sure they hold on. A cross there coming into the box from a free kick, and it's actually set up a Swansea counter-attack here. Already relegated Swansea could throw a massive spanner in the works here. Wayne Routledge going down the left-hand side, putting the ball into the box for Gylfi Sigurdsson, and Gylfi Sigurdsson finds the net there with the diving header to give the Welsh-based side an equaliser here at the Etihad Stadium. And now, as it stands, Leicester only need to find an equaliser against Chelsea, and Leicester will actually claim that final 4th place and that final Champions League place. So a bit of a disaster here for Manchester City. It's been a largely comfortable game here for Manchester United, and that's Michael Carrick playing through Ander Herrera. Herrera's got all sorts of space here. He's one-on-one with Artur Boruc, and he finds the net there to make it 3-0, and it's easy as you like, and it's been an easy game. Manchester United clearly very focused. They know what they needed to do to try and take this title, and they are doing it in some style. A goal that doesn't really affect anything but goal difference, but it's a good goal nonetheless. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain here on the ball. He's actually managed to skip past the challenge there of Alan Hutton and then of Ashley Westwood as well here. The Arsenal winger there bursting into the box. He finds Olivier Giroud. Olivier Giroud finds the net. Another goal that isn't going to really change too much apart from make Aston Villa's job a whole lot harder. They now need to score 3 goals in this game in order to stay up. It looks as if Bournemouth will be safe. There was no way Giroud was going to miss that. And it's now Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0. Newcastle need another goal here to have any hope of getting that final Europa League spot here, and it's Paul Dummett there. He's put the ball inside there for Moussa Sissoko, and he's found the back of the net. What a strike that was from Moussa Sissoko from outside of the area. Out of absolutely nothing, Newcastle take the lead here against Tottenham. I think they may have taken a deflection on the way through. It did indeed off Jan Vertonghen. That's what's beaten Hugo Lloris, and Moussa Sissoko will be claiming the goal all day long, but he's given Newcastle a 2-1 lead here, and that now means Watford only need to find 1 goal, and a draw for Sunderland will mean Newcastle leapfrog their rivals and take the final Europa League spot of 7th. Chelsea here are living slightly dangerously. They haven't been too convincing in this game. And N'Golo Kante there with a fantastic tackle, stereotypical type of tackle from N'Golo Kante to find Jamie Vardy, who cuts inside and plays the ball across the box. Oh, the referee's given a penalty. The referee's given a penalty here, I think against John Terry. It must have been a late challenge on Jamie Vardy, and it's a red card for John Terry. Quite astonishing. 10 minutes to go here, and Chelsea's title bid could be about to unravel completely. Jamie Vardy just needs to step up and take this. Of course, this could gift Leicester Champions League football, and he's dispatched a penalty. and incredible scenes. 10 minutes to go here at Stamford Bridge, and Jamie Vardy scores a penalty after John Terry is sent off to potentially end Chelsea's title hopes and end Manchester City's hopes of Champions League football and give Leicester a top 4 finish. Sunderland are parking the bus. Watford are throwing the kitchen sink here now. Sunderland, Odion Ighalo is trying to find some space here against Sebastian Coates. He's going to cut inside there into the area. It's deflected. Pantilimon manages to save it, but a penalty has been given. The referee has pointed to the spot here. I think a late challenge from Coates after Ighalo took the strike. It is indeed. So the goal potentially wouldn't have counted anyway. Troy Deeney will step up here to potentially break Sunderland hearts, and he does with 1 minute of the game to go. Troy Deeney, who's been heavily linked with a place in the Euro squad with England, has managed to just about rescue a point here for Watford, surely, against Sunderland, which in turn gifts Newcastle a place in the Europa League next season. Heartbreak for Sunderland, but Troy Deeney, the wanted man for England, has saved Watford here. There's been all sorts of late drama here in this one, and is there time for any more? Fantastic work there from Chelsea to win the ball back. Pedro finding his compatriot Diego Costa. Jairo Riedewald will try and stop him. He can't. He gets past one. Kevin Wimmer comes across but can't block the ball. Diego Costa surely now wins the Premier League for Chelsea. 3 minutes to go. Heartbreak for Leicester, because that means they won't be getting Champions League football, and in the most dramatic of circumstances, Chelsea have surely got themselves the Premier League title. Now surely there cannot be any more late drama in this game. Leicester giving themselves a lifeline with 10 minutes to go, and it's been taken away from them just 7 minutes later. They're still going to try and go forward here just to try and save something from this match. It's Fukurata Masuaku giving the ball to Shinji Okazaki. Will there be one last chance here? Kante trying to find Jamie Vardy but can't, as Piliqueta will clear the ball only as far as Fukurata Masuaku again. 3 minutes of injury time have been signalled. Masuaku just running across the pitch here. Chelsea surely need to deal with this. N'Golo Kante, he's made a run. He's found the net. I don't believe this. He's found the net. Thibaut Courtois has let it slip. It's awful goalkeeping. I don't believe it. N'Golo Kante, the hero of so many times before for Leicester, has surely got them Champions League football. There won't be time for a reply. This is the last kick of the game. Chelsea have had the title snatched from them. That has gifted it to Manchester United. N'Golo Kante, this is astonishing. It's all over at Vicarage Road. The home fans will be happy. Watford have rescued a point, but it means that Sunderland will not be getting European football in the Europa League next season. They will be devastated after letting that 2-goal lead slip. Even more devastation over at the Emirates Stadium, because Aston Villa have been relegated here by Arsenal. They've lost 2-0. A loss for Bournemouth of 3-0 seemingly will not be enough to keep them in the Premier League. City will also be devastated as well. Swansea already down, but City here have had that top 4 position snatched away from them by Leicester City. As you can see, it is all over at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have let that title slip. Seemingly, it just seemed impossible with 3 minutes to go. Costa gifting them surely the title, but no. N'Golo Kante with the last kick of the match, taking a top 4 finish for Leicester and snatching away the possibility of the title for Chelsea, which means Manchester United will take the title, having had a 15-point lead earlier on in the season. Chelsea have let this title slip away from them in all senses of the word, in the season in general and in the final game of it as well. Manchester United will claim their title this season. Chris Smalling will step up to lift the trophy. A fantastic season for the central defender and a fantastic performance against Bournemouth. It's joy all round as Bournemouth stay up, but Manchester United take the Barclays Premier League title. They lift it in front of their home crowd here at Old Trafford in one of the most dramatic final days of a Premier League season you will ever see. They were on the receiving end of it against when they were fighting with Manchester City 4 years ago, but now they get some sort of karma, it has to be said. They win the Premier League title with a 3-0 win against Bournemouth. I hope you have enjoyed what you saw here on the final day of the season. Champions League football for Leicester next season, but the title for Manchester United. You never know what the future holds for Leicester, but nevertheless, it's been a pleasure ranting to you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.